liking.
Totally.
Should guess. We're good. We let her turn them down, tone them down.
Turn who down?
No, yeah, no, what she just did.
Lights out.
Thank you. It's just,
We're gonna hit the lights and then it's like find your purse. I guess I'm Elise. I'm Elise.
We could do the general together.
Yeah. This is my sister Elizabeth.
I think we've met everybody. I think
so.
Yeah, we've all met. Everybody's all met. But anyway, we're glad you guys could come.
It's okay.
Liz. No, we're glad you guys could all be
the people
here.
you need to know. I'm just joking.
We're glad you guys could all come. We're super excited to share with you guys about a little bit about what we're doing and about what this opportunity is for us, what this company is, and about how amazing these products are. We're thrilled you all could be here. This is like super exciting to have some really fun new faces in the room.
you always forget.
And we will not create a picture at the very end, so nobody can leave.
Shelly's on it.
Shelly's on. Yeah, and normally she's gonna you might not leave yet. So I'm gonna let Elise start and talk a little bit about her story and why she's in this business with me. I will start out by saying this is the girl that told me over my dead body, will I ever do this with you? Heck to the no. It was pretty extreme. Maybe it was not aggressive, but either way. Needless to say, when I started this business, I was pretty excited. And I was like, this is perfect. I'm going to do this with my sister because she's my best friend. And I want to make sure that we have like this empire together and travel the world together and have so much fun. And then she was like, no, I don't want to do that. Devastating.
No, thank you.
18 months in, she changed her mind, and we've never looked back. It's been a blast. So we now also have Daniel a part of the team, and Mom, and Bobby's mom, my brother-in-law's mom, my Lisa's mother-in-law, who was at my very first launch, and I was like, you would kill it at this. And she was like, I don't think that's my cup of tea. I don't know, because you had done our mom before.
Yep.
And now you regret not doing it sooner.
I know.
I should have, would have, could have. Anyway, so I'm gonna let Elise start, and then we'll go.
Let's rewind.
So, I know, right? Trust me, I was the
Can't
same
live in
way.
the past, only in the future.
Please go for it. I'll let you start.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming. It's just one of those things where I think the Wandlings naturally like to. We're a little social, and if it happens to be a party, maybe I've been invited because we're not. Yeah, we're not going to.
We don't want to pat ourselves in the back or anything.
We just like people and party. So we're at my mother's house. So this is Mary. So thanks for having us, Mary.
This is
Mom. I'm Elise. I'm a here. She's so fast. My name's Elise. I've been a Rodan Fields consultant for 10 months, and kind of like Elizabeth said, I never thought it would be something I'd do. Bobby and I totally thought you were crazy until he was like, why aren't you doing this? And I was like, what happened? But you know what, that's all in the past. So I got into Rodan Fields because Elizabeth had gifted me my first regimen. So like everybody in the Wandling family is gifted with acne. Yes. Thanks, Mom. So I thought I didn't have terrible skin, but I felt like, you know, concealer for 3 to 5 zits and, you know, powder isn't like that outrageous. Until Elizabeth told me that I couldn't be the only one in the family with bad skin. So people have reactions to that. But I kind of love it.
I never recall saying that ever, but she uses it every presentation. Like a dagger every time. She's like, what if I get to that? But that's okay. We're gonna go with it.
So I was like, perfect timing. It was January 1st, and I was like, perfect timing because my skin's really good. I only have like 5 zits, and I'll try it, and it'll be great. 3 weeks in, I thought I was allergic. We have less than a 3% return rate, and I was like, this is me. I'm the weirdo that's allergic to all this stuff. My skin was breaking out like crazy. I was sitting there with my mom, and I was like, look at this skin. She was like, yeah, that's pretty bad. Maybe you are allergic. And then she's like, you know what? Give it the 60 days because maybe it'll clear up. And sure enough, within 60 days, I had awesome clear skin that I didn't have to worry about crazy concealer anymore. And 5 zits would be insane right now. Like I get one and I like have PTSD and it's hard. So last year was like a really great growth year for me. So my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer. I was 5 months pregnant and I lost the baby. And then, you know, mom was going through chemo. Life was like turned upside down. It was shitty. It was really bad. Yeah, sorry, bleep me, feel free. But you know what? It's one of those things where if you live long enough, hopefully you go through stuff because that kind of makes you the person you are. So Elizabeth, it was April. I had been pretty like down in the mouth, and my husband was like trying to kick my butt to do something
Get out of the
about
house.
it. Yeah, get out of the house. And so Elizabeth, come April, was like, you know, come to a corporate event. She was never pushy. I always knew that she would be very successful at this business. I thought she was crazy, but I just didn't really have any interest in doing it because I thought life's good enough. We're making a good amount of money, enough to pay the mortgage. You know, I have enough of this and enough of this, enough of this. And then I thought, well, okay, maybe I should give it a try because, you know, being pregnant, I had all those, like, I came to the realization of all the things that stress you out when you're pregnant. Who's going to take care of your baby if you have to go to work? You have to go to work if you have a baby. You know, like all those things. And I started thinking, well, the next time we're lucky enough to have a baby, I really don't want to be sitting at my computer because I thought this is a sad place to be if you know you have a child somewhere. So I thought, I don't want that. So maybe we have enough money, but maybe it wouldn't be terrible to have like a little bit more money, you know? And I came to the realization of, you know, when crappy stuff happens, the best kind of stuff that you have isn't money, but it's the people that like lift you up. And so we're in a beta sorority and they were bringing my mom 3 dinners a week when she was doing chemo. And so I started thinking, well, she had told me that when she joined this amazing network of women and they were also supportive. And she's been in sales and she says, this is not what sales is usually like. It's usually like, that was my sale, pulling each other down. And so I thought, okay, well, I like people and I like friendly people. So that's my kind of people. And then I thought, you know what, I'll always be using this product. So I'm on the blemish regimen because I have acne. I don't anticipate I'll have acne forever, but I thought to myself, I'll always have it in my life, right? I'll always have Rodan fields in my life, whether it be treating my sun damage or treating my wrinkles. So then I thought, well, maybe I could do this. And, you know, I threw caution to the wind last year because it's like this stuff couldn't get any worse. So then I said, screw it, you know, like I don't care what people think of me. And, you know, it's really like if nothing, you know, ventured, nothing gained. So I said, sign me up, let's do it. And then my husband sat me down and said, well, if you're going to do it, you better work your tail off. And I was like, oh, really? And he was like, yeah, I don't want like one toe in. I want you jumping in. I want you working your butt off. And I was like, okay, I guess so. Maybe, I don't know why he would say that. But it's one of those things where you don't really get it. It's like, and I didn't know anything. You know, I always supported Elizabeth, but I didn't know how to do an order. She was, you know, like my black market skincare lady. I didn't even have an account or anything. And so it was really one of those things as once I joined and once I jumped in, I was like, oh, I get it because the people are awesome. I made so many amazing friends. And I really had, you know, a purpose last year of like to get out of the house, meet people, do things, and stop living in the month of February. So it's been the best decision of my life, and it's not going anywhere. So get ready to party forever because, you know, that was my last year, and my focus this year is a little bit different. I think I've come to this realization that, like, you know, I'm in Ames. My husband and I are going to be here. We work for our family's engineering firm. We're always going to be here, and I might as well carve this out as something that I'm going to be doing, and people are going to recognize me for that. So I'm really excited. I'm going to share with you about the product. So we're not like millions of products. I was a $6 face wash from Hy-Vee kind of gal in the mornings. But obviously that wasn't working according to Elizabeth. So I thought, wow, four steps sounds crazy, but now I do it morning and evening, and I'm thankful for it all the time. So we have 4 regimens, and the 4 regimens are created by, Elizabeth might talk a little bit about, who are Rodan and Fields. Everyone's heard of Proactive? Yes. Their last names are Rodan and Fields. So we have that kind of instant brand recognition. So I'm not trying to educate you about some snake oil. It is some clinically proven product from the most well-known dermatologist in the world. So 4 main regimens. The 4 main regimens treat the 4 major skin concerns. So 4 major skin concerns that these doctors who are still practicing in the Bay Area in their white coats 3 days a week are treating sensitive skin, acne, sun damage, dark marks, and fine lines and wrinkles. So every regimen has 4 steps. The face wash, so what I mask with my face and then hop in the shower to wash off. A toner to balance the pH out on your skin and prepare your skin for the 3rd active ingredient. So there's 4 steps because each step is the right ingredient, the right amount, in the right order for the best results. So after you've toned, you use the active ingredient. The amazing thing about the stuff is, you don't have to use a ton. So it's one pump, my whole face is taken care of and happy. And everything, step 4 is sunscreen, because that's, although we love it, we'll give you a sun stash if you're not careful. So 4 regimens, like I said, sensitive skin, that's what you have to treat first if you have any type of sensitivity. The lipid barrier on your skin is broken down, so we have to treat that. Obviously, if you have acne, that's something you want to treat before you start treating wrinkles or sun damage or anything like that. So a few of the things that we're probably most well known for is our Amp MD roller. So Amp MD roller can be used with a reverse or redefine. If you have acne, you don't want to spread it all over your face with something with little micro needles. So just these 2 regimens. And the micro channels that are created from the little needles help produce collagen. So it sends collagen, your skin sends collagen to the surface of your skin, and collagen obviously helps you makes you look younger, a little more youthful, helps fill in those wrinkles. So it's really kind of crazy how fine it is. I can roll on you. Not bad, right? It's not scary. People are like, that medieval torture. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Shelly was like, I can't do that medieval contraption. It's not that scary.
Oh, I'm used to it.
Last year we launched hydration. So hydration is amazing for dry skin or oily. I have fabulously oily skin all over my body, and it's amazing that I can touch my forehead. I can touch my forehead, and it's not like a pool of Vaseline grease on my forehead that I used to get. And oily skin is like dehydrated skin. So this stuff hydrates your skin. It actually comes with 30% glycerin. Glycerin is what steals moisture out of the atmosphere and drinks it into your skin.
What is this?
What are we doing with this?
You can do space. You can do everybody else does it right now, so don't worry. There's 30% glycerin in hydration, and the next competitor to Rodan Fields has 3%. So we created a molecule that was able to stabilize the glycerin that's usually very sticky, but as you put it on, you'll see how nice and smooth.
So this you can use with any of them?
Yes, that helps with any and all of the regimens. Great question, Sarah. So something that many people have probably heard is Lash Boost. So Lash Boost is a serum that you put just on the top of your eyelid. You want me to do you? It's an old one though. I don't think I'm going to suggest that. Not that I have like an eye infection or anything, but I just don't think we should
Share.
I said no. Okay.
This is my old
I-
one, so now everybody
I
knows.
just don't like to forget before I go to bed. I just started it like 2 days ago.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
what you
How do you apply it?
So it's just
Just
like
like
kind of a liquid eyeliner. You
Just on the top.
jump on the top, and then I do my eyebrows.
Okay.
You do?
Yeah.
I do my eyebrows too, and it's awesome.
Seriously.
I used to have to pencil it in. Now I don't.
Yeah, because it makes them,
Darker and
fuller.
fuller.
Thicker. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have an amazing special, which maybe we'll just touch on. For all new customers, you get a free lash boost.
We should give you like 10 free
Aw.
ones because they love us.
I have never seen a deal that good.
So people are very excited because lash boost is like the $35. Lash boost per month.
No,
But people are crazy about the lash
I use
boost.
it
I'll
every
show you
day.
my before and after. A few other of my favorite products, Bright Eyes Complex. If you have dark puffy eyes or anything like that, that is your savior.
Elise,
How
how
long?
long does it?
How long did the lash boost last?
I'd say 3 months.
It's about a 3-month product. All of our products are always rated for 60 days. Lash Boost lasts longer because the product is there for your eyebrows and your eyelashes. Now, just like any mascara, as you put the wand back in, oxygen will get back in the tube, but it will start to break down the vitamins a little bit. The efficacy will lose its potency after the 3-month period. So I always recommend to everybody, even though you will have some left in your tube
I
after
have
3
serum
months,
left.
without a doubt, you still need to rotate it out because you're not going to see the growth of the results you would normally see. So you do have to replace it. So I actually write my date, like the date I started tube on the bottom, and then when that 3 months is up, I replace it. And the second I replace it, it's like boom, here's that again.
Yeah.
So
We have a multifunction eye cream, which lots of people call eye crack, fine lines, wrinkles, everything that you probably are fearing will happen to your eyes can be solved.
So is that like under the eyes too?
Under and above.
And above.
So I've seen like my Aunt Rhonda has an amazing before and
she
after.
does the hooded
Where
eye.
she had hooded eyelids and it brought it up.
Along with that and the roller.
In the roller, yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
and the roller.
Lip renewing serum, I'll pop one of these open for everybody. Are just like save your lips in the wintertime. And my favorite is the MD paste. It is a scrub that just scrubs away the last year of your life.
It is.
And then you look even younger.
That's
I
good.
didn't know I needed
I
it.
use
I
that.
know. Until
I had no
I
idea.
dropped some off.
Yeah.
I think hydration and MD paste are both products that you don't realize you need until
Yeah.
you get it, and then you can't live without it.
Yeah, before I walk away. And the empty
Take
taste
this on your
lasts
Bye.
About a year.
Yeah,
9 months.
Yeah, at least.
Just a bump. I call it a white girl bump.
You call it a what? Nothing. Did you say a white?
Okay. I think you know what, we're very casual here if you haven't figured it out, and we're very like happy to share. So if you have any questions, like bump in, ask anything that you may have. Because I think that's kind of all I have about it.
While you do your
Yeah. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten about you. I got to get a new one.
Elise loves displaying the product. I've never seen anybody get as excited about presenting products as you.
Really? Who are these people not happy about?
No. I should do something like that. It's fantastic. So as Elise is kind of spreading around the renewing system, I'll kind of touch a little bit about my story and kind of how I got into things and what, a little bit about the business too, so you guys can have a little bit of history. Just because when I started this business, there was a lot of unknowns that I didn't quite understand when I began this business, and nor did I understand quite what kind of business this is or how it is a reputable business. So my story kind of begins, I actually, my husband and I moved back to the Spirit Lake, Northwest Iowa area back in 2010. And we had no children, and I was in the midst of kind of figuring out what I wanted to do with my life. And real estate seemed to be the logical answer. And so I jumped into a real estate career in 2010, which was not exactly the best year to get into the market. But like Elise said, I'm usually a pretty determined person, and I'm going to make it work. So I did just that. A couple years, and I had built a substantial business for myself, and really was working a lot of nights, weekends, and holidays, because that's when really with real estate you work. And most people, want to see houses and they want to see them now. And if you're not available, then they'll go to somebody else. And that's just kind of how real estate is. It's a very competitive market. And like Lee said, you know, if someone's not there to cut you down, then the next person will. So it is a cutthroat industry. I'm not sure that I would want to do it long term now that I know what it's like, but I thought I had it made. I thought this is what I was going to do till I was going to retire. And this is fantastic. And it was a very good career path for me. You know, I paid off, you know, my husband's law school debt in 3 years with it, and we were in a really good place with real estate. However, I had this little thing called a baby, and the next thing you know, these little angels are running around your feet, and you realize that you don't necessarily want to be gone on weekends of your birthday while your family's up at the lake drinking margaritas in the boat, and I'm working, because believe me, that really sucks. So I was longing for something else, but financially we didn't need something else because we were in a really good place. And so, you know, here I am, I'm technically working for myself, self-employed, but you know, what other options are there in Spirit Lake? Because believe me, I was making double probably what anybody else in the area could make with a full-time salary that was making a nice paycheck. And so I knew that this was a great place for me to be. But in the midst of all this, we're getting ready to have our second baby, and I saw my cousin out of Austin posting on Facebook about this skincare company. I've been a Proactive user, like Lee said, because we are blessed with acne, for about 10 years. And so I knew who the Proactive doctors were, but when I saw her posting on Facebook, I was a bit baffled because she is married. She's actually married to my cousin, I should say, my cousin-in-law. I watched her post on Facebook about this company, and I was thinking to myself, what is she doing? I don't quite get it, because I knew they were very financially sound. And she's a stay-at-home mom with 3 boys under the age of 4. And so I didn't quite get it. And in fact, Alicia and I talked so many times, oh my gosh, what's Nancy doing? I can't believe she's doing this. And sure enough, about a year in, I finally kind of gave a little bit of attention to it because I wanted something different for my face. The Proactive I was using was not working any longer, especially after my first pregnancy. My acne was going nuts. And I was just given up to the fact that I tried other products, nothing else was going to work, and Proactive was going to be the best I was going to get. Well, I'm not quite sure why I didn't quite connect, you know, Proactive was their old product. This is the new product. Jump on board and try the new stuff. I didn't do that. But I had a really bad day at work. And I decided, you know what? I am going to do Unblemished. I'm going to give it a try. And so I called Proactive up. I actually canceled my subscription. And within 20 minutes, my cousin had messaged me. And she said she had a free regimen for me to try. And if I liked it, we should really talk about the business, because she thought I would be good at this. And so with the combination of a bad day at work and really wanting to change my skin, I was like, I'm in. So, and I was also thinking that's really kind of a God thing, that, in my opinion, that my cousin messaged me 20 minutes after I canceled my subscription. So I jumped in 3 days and my skin was amazing. And I said, all right, let's talk about what this looks like. And so when I asked her what she was making, I about fell on the floor, because I realized she had actually surpassed my income and what she was doing 2 years in, all from home, with her boys. What took me, you know, and I was 6, 7 years into my career at this point, and I was spending $3,000 to $4,000 a month in my overhead just to keep going. And if you know anything about real estate, it's nothing like a regular job. You're completely commissioned, and so you're constantly having to fill your funnel and work those leads, and constantly having to follow up, and like I said, run your butt off. So, and at the end of the day, I kind of had a couple realizations as well. You know, you're not technically self-employed, you're actually working for like 10 or 15 people at a time. And it's stress. It's a lot of stress. And it's very cutthroat. And so I was like, you know what, I'm going to look at this. Because if she surpassed my income in 2 years, then homegirl has no sales experience. She was shy as can be, very shy. And I'm like, what? This is nuts. I mean, and so I told the mom, I said, again, nothing mentioned, nothing gained. If she can do it, I can do it. And so I jumped in. My first month, I had an event very similar to this, both here and at my hometown. I just told people about the products that I already love, and my first paycheck came and it covered my daycare bill. And I about fell on the floor, because I was like, I'm only a month in and I just made $750. This is crazy. So I said, I'm going to look at this a little bit more as a business opportunity and see what this looks like. Well, when I actually jumped in and started digging into things, I realized, I was on the fastest growing team in the entire company, and that we have the best resources and the best tools at our fingertips. And so I said, I'm going to plug into this and see what I'm supposed to do. I learned that, of course, like I said, these are the Proactive doctors, and that they've actually already done this once. So one of my biggest one of my biggest concerns about this was, is this going to be another Arbonne that kind of falls to the wayside? Is this going to be another Mary Kay that kind of starts to die and, that doesn't really deliver all the results that we're looking for? And I realized very quickly, these are the proactive doctors that have already done this once, right? They've already built a multi-billion-dollar global brand, you guys. They own 80% of the global acne market, 80%, and they're in over 120 countries. So if you think about that, what companies do you know that own 80% of any market? Starbucks, for example, only owns 38% of the coffee market, and think of what empire they have. It doesn't even touch the global skincare market. So that's pretty crazy to think about, that they've already done this once and they're doing it again. So they actually rolled this company out back in 2006 in our traditional department stores, right? Because you and I are used to going to a Nordstrom's or Macy's or Yonkers to get our really high-end skincare. And we're used to seeing those ladies behind the glass counter in their white coat and asking them what works, and having the Clinique lady rub things on your hand, and then you buy their system, right? So that was kind of what I was used to, and that's actually where we started. We had partnered with Estee Lauder, and we were on the shelves, and we were the #1 clinically sold brand in Nordstrom's, and we were killing it. But then they realized this isn't where things are going, because guess what rolled out in 2008? Facebook. And they realized very quickly that they were actually growing faster by word of mouth than they were from anybody behind that glass counter. So they actually bought themselves, their company, back from Estee Lauder, and they took it to an e-commerce platform, and that dreaded word, yes, direct sales. And they knew they were taking a risk, but guess what? They had already taken a risk once with Proactive and doing the infomercial approach. And Neutrogena said, we don't want anything to do with you. You are never going to be successful. There is no way infomercials will ever work. And believe me, there's no way, no one's ever going to use 3 steps to wash their face. Well, guess who proved them wrong? 30 years later, look at where Proactive is today, and they're still the #1 acne brand across the world. So it's pretty amazing to see what they've done once. And now what's so exciting is to see what they're doing again with this. So they've entered the anti-aging market, which is next year will be a $180 billion global market. It's huge. And we are only currently in the US, Canada, and we just launched Australia. So if you get where I'm going with this here, they've already done this with Proactive. We already have a little bit of a roadmap there. And we are going to be basically marching around the world, launching new countries and sharing these products that we know are clinically proven, just like your prescriptions are from your physician, that we know work, that are guaranteed. We have a 60-day money-back guarantee, not only on the products, but also on the business. So that's fairly effective, because you can't walk into a clinic, you can't go to a med spa, and you sure as heck can't go to your dermatologist and get a 60-day money-back guarantee on anything, right? No one's going to give you their money back. So that's kind of putting your money where your mouth is, right? I mean, these doctors know, and like Elise mentioned, we have less than a 3% return rate, so that's pretty, I guess the proof's in the pudding, right, people? So that's exactly what we're doing. That's where we're at right now. We are the #1 skincare brand in the US. We're the #1 skincare brand across all price points and all channels. So what that means is, I don't care if you're Neutrogena or if you're Oxypads, and I don't care if you're Clinique or the Lancome. We are beating you by sales, and we are outperforming you. And it's just the numbers, it's just the statistics. And this is all according to Euromonitor, which is the largest third-party market research company in the world. And so this is who we outsource. These are the numbers they give us. And so we know we hit #1 last year, and we only broke $1 billion just this last year, and we are so ground floor. So it's really super exciting to see where we're headed with this, because you heard me say the numbers with global skincare market being at $180 billion, and we're just at $1 billion right now. So it's super exciting to see where this company is going, just because of what they've already accomplished once. And Elise gave a little bit of history behind the doctors, that they're still in practice today. There's a 3-year waiting list to see them. They're Stanford trained. They teach still today at Stanford, and they still see patients like you and me. So I think what's also pretty exciting is knowing that our skincare will be more needed tomorrow than we will be today, because the facts are that there is 1 dermatologist in the US for every 30,000 people. So most of us know that usually skincare isn't exactly an emergency. I mean, for the most part, when you call the dermatologist, it's approximately 2, 3, 4 month wait, co-pays, and very expensive prescriptions. And so these products are basically right at that prescription level, just underneath. They've been brought home to our bathroom counter so that we can give you that prescription grade strength medicine at a multi-med therapy approach that we know will deliver. And if it doesn't, you can have your money back. So it's pretty amazing to know where we're headed with this and why we're so effective. So Elise had mentioned a little bit of that residual income concept about the fact that this is a 60-day regimen. People love their skincare. They use it. It washes down the drain. They want more and they buy more. So as I grew this company, you know, I've had customers that have been with me since day one, and they continue to buy from me. And I continue to grow my clientele base, you know, between 40 to 50 customers at any one time. And that's just from me sharing this products. So, you know, over time, I went from that daycare bill to now basically matching what I make in real estate. So I now have those options to leave my position if I want. If I want to still work in real estate, I certainly can. But I've essentially matched that near six-figure salary that I was sitting at before. And that's pretty amazing to know that each and every month I have, sorry, I thought my son was about ready to run up and grab me on a leg. It's pretty amazing to know that I have that security. And I have the options to be home if I want to with my boys, or I have the options to take a vacation if I want to, or I don't have the stress of having to pay that $3,000 to $4,000 overhead every month if I don't want to. And that's an amazing place to be. So fast forward, my cousin's been doing this now 2.5 years longer than me, and she now makes in 1 month what most teachers make in a year. And it's pretty amazing to see what this team can do. The reason why this is such an effective business model is because of the way that we're structured. And yes, people will be like, well, isn't that like a pyramid scheme? And when I think of pyramid schemes, I think of, you know, kind of like a corporation. Everyone's at the top making all the money, and then you have all these peons below that aren't doing anything, and it couldn't be further from the truth of this company. I know so many people that, I know CPAs, I know the owner of the Tulsa Fertility Institute, I know infectious disease specialists, I know engineers that have all made or surpassed their incomes and now have the options to leave their job. And these people are all on my team that I actually know that are making this substantial income because of what this business has done for their team members. And it's one of the most infectious, and I always say kind of intoxicating things about this company. And one of the things that really caught me off guard is as I've shared this business, I've watched it change people's lives and what they can do with this income now and how they are growing and how they're sharing with others. And it's one of those things where you really reach down and you lift people up and you share with them what this is, and it completely changes their life on a different level. And I had no clue that's what I was getting to. I didn't quite get it. And like Lee said, it's kind of one of those things where you do get into it and you realize, oh my gosh, this is a gift. And it sounds so cheesy. It's kind of like, you know, hashtag life-changing skincare, but really it truly is, because I'm watching, you know, I had a good friend whose husband was laid off in the oil field, and they literally had no money left in their bank account, and they were living off essentially their 401k. And she said, this is all I had left. And she's now making $15,000 to $17,000 a month right now. And she's been in the business for 2 years. It's crazy to see what this business can do for people's lives and how it drastically changes the opportunities they have in front of them. So I think that that's been one of the funnest things about this, is to help people learn this business, share it, watch their lives change and grow from it. And that's probably been one of the most rewarding things that I've learned about this company, is just how it really can be truly life-changing. So where are we headed? As I mentioned, we are headed to opening up a new country every year from here on out. And then the innovation Elise went over is pretty fantastic. At the root core, we have just the 4 main regimens, but we are constantly rolling out. We just had like this. This is our upgraded new roller. What I really love, she didn't really touch much on the intensive renewing serum. This innovation is unbelievable, and if you know anything much about Retin-A or a vitamin A product that the dermatologist will give you at the dermatologist, you usually need a prescription for this. And it's usually very harsh on the skin. It will cause peeling, redness, irritation. These doctors have to figure out a way to stabilize that, to basically pair it with calcium for a time-released formula. So you can be on Soothe and have sensitive skin and even use this anti-aging retinol, excuse me. And it's sensitive enough and gentle enough to use for even sensitive skin. So these doctors are constantly innovating, and they're constantly above the mark and setting the bar higher and higher and higher for the competitors. And it's a pretty fantastic business to be a part of and fascinating to watch. So there's 3 different ways to be a part of our company. Of course, you can be a customer, which we love our customer program. It is a 10% off discount and free shipping always. It's a customizable replenishment program. So when you sign up, it's a one-time join fee of $20, and that's your join fee for life. And then when you need product, you order it. If you don't need product, you tell them I don't need anything, and they can send you an email in 2 months. So it's not anything where you're forced to buy when you don't want anything, if that makes sense. Because with Proactive, I was always shipped product, and the next thing you know, I had like 20 bottles of toner on the counter that my parents had paid for. And it was like, this is a problem.
Sell that stuff on the black market.
Of course, I think the consultant way is the best way to buy, even if you think that you just want to be that customer. The 25% off discount you do get as a consultant is a fantastic discount. We have 3 different kits. We have a $9.95, which will get you approximately $2,000 in products. It's about a 50% discount. We have a $6.95 kit, which is of course a little bit smaller than that $9.95. It doesn't come with samples or anything like that, but it's still a fantastic kit because it's 1 of each regimen. And that's about a 37% discount. And then we have a $3.95, which I kind of call it the personal regimen. It's one of our anti-aging plus a regimen for yourself. So it's a little bit of a smaller kit. And of course, the last way to be a part of this company is maybe to be a connector for somebody. More often than not, 80% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, and it's a pretty staggering number if you think about it. And more often than not, people are looking for something and they don't even realize that they need the financial help, or even that they need a little more time freedom. And maybe I was somebody, or at least somebody that maybe didn't realize they wanted that time freedom, or that maybe a little bit more financial freedom, but more often than not, people just are thinking a little bit too small. And they're not thinking outside the box or even thinking bigger for themselves. And let me tell you something, I think we really get caught up in the rat race of life, where we work those 40 hours a week to live off of 40% of our paycheck, and then that's it. Right? And I think there's something more to that. I think we all put a lot of our dreams up on the shelves of what we want to do, and we just kind of let them sit because financially we can't afford them, or we don't have the time, or PTO is not enough. And so I think that this company is giving me choices again. I think it's giving me financial freedom again. And I think it's one of those things that more often than not, many of us know somebody who could use an opportunity just like this. And this is something that I truly believe is a gift, and that can open up so many doorways for so many people. And so if you want to be a connector, if you don't think this is for you, you can be a connector for somebody else who you do think this could be for. So I think that was, you covered all product. I normally go over product now, but you already did it.
That's why I'm here.
But if there are any questions, I would be more than happy to go over them with you guys. Otherwise, I am so thankful that you guys all came to listen tonight. And don't forget the picture. So we're going to do it. Otherwise, I'm going to turn this off. Thanks, you guys. Bye. Hi, Karen, if you're still watching.